DJ Ahmed Alawi in the house. Are you feeling it? The National Day energy. Ali Bahar. Yo.
بلد عيني بلد قلبي بلد روحي بلد مثل العاشق ما ينقسم نصين بلد أصلي بلد فصلي وبلد أهلي بلد شكل بحر فوق السماء.
بغيت بس أرسل أهنا التبريكات إلى القيادة الرشيدة وإلى كل من يفتخر بالبحرين الغالية. دام عزتك يا البحرين. وبعد يعني هاي السنة احنا ما قصرنا، يعني this year from the beginning of the month, and we've been celebrating from the beginning of the month, like يعني everybody went ham. الكل يعني راح وسوى extreme يعني. وشو اقول بعد، والله الصبيان اللي برا في الشوارع والسيارات والهاي يعني بعد ما قصروا. اذا تعرفون شو قصدي يعني في الترشرش والاشياء اللي صارت، والمرور يقصفون في الأوادم، يقصفون المرور. they went hard, really hard, not gonna lie. شو اسمه، العروض ومعروض محلات تخفيضات وهالاشياء، ما يلا نلاقي لنا علم عود. لا شو نسوي، حتى اللي مو بحريني قاعد يحتفل، اللي جاي من مدري وين واللي جاي من مدري وين. They just came up and like put a big flag on their car and they were like, yeah, let's go. And they went, hey تعال شو رايكم في الدي جي مالي. طبعا انا توني بديتها. This is the first piece that I was actually working on. يعني علي بحر ما يقصر يعني. علي بحر ما يقصر. وش اسمه يعني this episode oh yeah, I forgot the introduction. My name is Ahmed Alawi, if you haven't known since the beginning yet. And we don't really have a certain topic today to talk about. We don't really have any guests today or anything like that. And this was supposed to be releasing on Thursday, يوم الخميس. بس إنه يعني didn't have really that much time. Yeah, this is a pretty late episode. I was gonna take a week off, just like I said on my Instagram story. بس إنه يعني وايد ناس يوني وقالوا لي we want an episode ومخل شنو ذي وهاي عوروا راسي. بقى قلت يلا I'm just gonna give you an unedited episode of TBV. There you go. مناسبة العيد الوطني, an unedited episode. يعني ما كلش ما بتعب روحي ان اسوي edit وهاي, لا بس يعني the only thing I edited was that remix I did in the beginning. I don't even call it a remix, it was just playing with the special effects وحطيته DJ أحمد علوي. صدقت روحي بعد. My own producer tag. Yeah. So yeah, this is a special unedited episode of TBV, and we don't really have a certain topic that we want to talk about. So I'm just gonna, try to jump from here to here and talk about the National Day and stuff like that. So شو اسمه, بصراحة يعني السبورتس كارز اللي شفتهم في الشوارع يعني ما في كم من سيارة ما شفتهم قبل يعني ما قط يعني تخيلت ان بتشوفهم في شوارع البحرين. يعني سبحان الله. و I don't really remember what it's called, but it was a very rare sight to see. و اليوم 17 ف I think I'm gonna release this tomorrow on the 18th, but I don't know really. But yeah. Yesterday, me and my buddies we went to the avenues, and our objective إن كنا بنروح بنشوف الفايروركس. بس ما بدانا واحنا رايحين يعني جسر المحرق كان زحمة. جسر المحرق كان زحمة. And the traffic was barely moving. It was barely moving. As we were on the bridge, we looked to our right, and it's like just water and sea, and like far off you could see the buildings in Manama. So we caught a glimpse of the fireworks. Everybody took out their phones وبدأوا يصورون ودي. And وصلنا هناك، وصلنا لافنيوز اللي هم خلصوا. No more fireworks. They finished. خلصوا كل شيء. خلصوا. قمنا ندور يعني مكان ثاني شي fireworks وهالسوالف event وهاي ما لقينا. العالم كلها يا في المجمعات، معظم الصبيان طيط صبيان في الشوارع طيط والمرور وهاي. ونص العالم الثاني وين؟ مسرح الدونة. مسرح الدونة ذي من كثر الحفلات اللي مسوينها in the last period طلعوا قيمته وفوق قيمته بعد. يعني حفلة هذاك المغني العربي وخالد والحين العيد الوطني. Like how many tickets have they sold? Like I heard that it can like that يعني الدونة يقدر يتحمل 9,000 people. 9,000. So let's say per se that like and the average ticket price would be around 50 dinar شي. زين they do vary. The seat price tickets vary according to exactly where you're sitting, either up front with the VIPs or in the middle or like at the back, but they're mostly around 50. So if you got 9,000 people, okay, 9,000 people, let me get my calculator out here. 9,000 people times 50, it means 450,000 dinars average or more, yani money from one concert. And in the last period they made 3 concerts, so 450,000 times 3 equals 1,350,000. Whew! That is like maybe, I don't know, like if I had that money, I would already have a studio and a mic and everything for the podcast, and like my life would be good. 1,000,000 dinar, like, oh my god, we could only just dream, you know. But hey, talking about dreams. Let's talk about dreams, okay? Let's. This is a worthy subject of this episode. You know, let's talk about dreams and like ambitious people, and in contrary, the people who who've lost their dreams. Let's talk about that. Okay. So, your boy Ahmed Al-Alawi, your host. I wasn't thinking of starting this podcast in the beginning. It was just a whim idea. Like, I was listening to this podcast on Spotify. It was and you're more than free to check it out. It's called Picking Brains by Jabri Swar, another brilliant Bahraini. And I was listening to his first episode, where he was talking about audience criticism with his guest Rista Music. And I realized that a lot of people have great ideas. A lot of people think. A lot of people have $1 million thoughts, but they aren't really called $1 million thoughts if they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. They go and come. Like whether it was let's say Siri, for instance. Who came up with Siri? I don't know. But the guy who did thought up of Siri, whoever he is, he had the courage to actually apply and kind of make his dream a reality. It wasn't just a thought to him, it was a dream. A dream is a thought, but it's something that you wish was real. That's a dream. That's the difference between a dream and a thought. Right? So, back to this podcast. I wasn't like making the Bahraini voice wasn't really my first and foremost goal in life, but I got inspiration from other podcasts. I thought, this is a great way to connect with people, whether it was it doesn't really matter if it was video or audio, but the core way of communicating with your audience was obviously audio, same thing as I'm doing right now. And it really helps, it really helps to get that message out there, whether it was education or something like that. And podcasts are, in fact, underrated. I don't know a lot of people who actually listen to podcasts. Like that, it's so little. And one of my goals of why I made the Bahraini voice was to make those numbers go up. Podcasts need more attention, especially when we're in a time that we're going so fast and we have so many things to do. You just plug your AirPods or whatever device that you use to hear stuff. Just plug it in and listen. Just listen to it. It's kind of like your radio that you could put on at any time, but you can actually control what you're listening to. That's the difference between podcasts and traditional radio. It's not your normal talk show on the radio where they talk about random topics that you're probably not interested in, and you'd rather concentrate on the road, try to prevent an accident. So I want to attract more attention to podcasts, and according to research, this is actual fact. All right, more than 50% of U.S. citizens, aka Americans, They listen to podcasts every day. Every day. At least one episode. Whether it was 5 minutes or 2 hours. They get those time in. They get the time in. Podcasts aren't really popular here in the Gulf. في الخليج. يعني للأسف. This is a venue of media and content that needs to be explored even more. That's a thing. That's an actual thing that I've thought of. And podcast Arika, the Kuwaiti, they've done a great job. They've done a really great job. Talal, Sam, and Bibi. They've done a really great job of kind of rallying up the masses with their podcasts. They've had some really interesting topics. I mean, you see, I'm not really attracted to their podcast. Because, sure, they have interesting topics and they have a whole studio and a chair and mics and a mixer and everything, but there's this element that is missing. The element of yeah, sure, they're entertaining. I'm not saying that they're not. They are. But we want, like, podcasts, in my opinion, should be something that you would put on and listen to, and at the same time while you're listening, your thoughts kind of, like, you hear something and then you think about it, and then you hear something else and then you think about it. But Arika, podcast Arika الكويتي, شو اقول لك انه يعني it's a show where it's all jokes and everything. But no, TBV is kind of a mix of jokes and comedy and facts. That's what I want it to be. But mostly it would be about just listening to deep thought conversations. Deep thought conversations. That's the thing that I think is gonna be beneficial to all of you listeners. People should think more. I mean, yeah, sure, في مقولة تقول ان مو الشيب ما يجي من العمر، الشيب يجي من كثرة التفكير. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that it does happen. I've had maybe I did find like around 4 white hairs in my head, but they eventually fell off. I'm not saying that I am an actual old person, but I do feel like sometimes I'm 32 or 43 or something like that. I really don't feel like I'm 18 years old, even though I remind myself of that every 2 hours. And yeah, if anybody out there relates to this, if you feel like you're older than what you really are, please DM me. Please tell me how you feel. Don't you always feel like your friends, or like not your friends, like the people who are actually around your age, you feel like they're children? You feel like they're below you? Or not below you. Let's say that you feel like they're much younger than you, and you feel that they're out of your age range. I get that a lot. And trust me, I have a lot of friends that are actually much older than me. Having old friends is a good thing. Let me tell you. Having old friends is a good thing. And yeah, it's you get to listen to stories and things about their life that you get to learn from. if you have an old friend, bro, بتلاقيه يسولف وياك الليل النهار. والله انا كنت هني وهناك وصار فيني كذي وصار فيني كذاك وهاي وما ادري شنو ذي. Like for the first 2-3 times, yeah, you will feel like, yo, this guy is cool. But after the 5th or 6th time, you get so bored, and you'll think that the stereotype of talkative old people, you'll say, yeah, that stereotype is true. It's no longer a stereotype. It's true. It's a true fact. That's what you're gonna think. If you're one of those people who wants to make friends with old people who, like, يعني, you want to make friends with old people, but like, oh my god, my brain it stopped thinking. The whatchamacallit, yeah, if you want to make friends with old people and you find that annoying, well, that's the package, bro. That's the package. You either live with it or you leave it. Live or leave. Yo, quote of the day. Quote of the day. Live or leave. Live or leave. That's something. You either say something that is good, or you rather shut up. That's something I've learned through the years. You either say something good that would benefit everyone, something like a greeting or something that will lift people's like day up, but if it's something else, just keep it in. Keep it in. Don't say it. Dreams. Yeah, we were talking about dreams, right? So dreams. When I was a little kid, I dreamt of being a chef. I literally dreamt of being a chef. I wanted to cook. I wanted to make cakes. I wanted to make cookies. That's what I wanted to do. I slowly grew up and went to school. Then I discovered planets. I discovered that the thing that I'm standing on is just a big old rock in space. Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, poor Pluto, who's no longer a planet anymore. After I learned the solar system, I was like, no, I don't want to be a chef. I want to be an astronaut. It was childish dreams. Childish dreams. Yeah, I wanted to be an astronaut. I grew up more and more and more. And later on I thought, okay, who's gonna give me the chance to be an astronaut? I got a lot of criticism from people who knew about this dream, thinking, no, بحريني or عربي واحد ما يقدر يصير رائد فضاء. You'll never be an astronaut. You'll never be. And from the things that I've seen from news about politics, I'd rather not talk about much of it right now. But, America and racism and stuff like that. After I saw the news, I was like, yeah, they were right. Being an astronaut, especially for an Arab teenager, is something really hard to do. But then the years passed, and I soon discovered that one of the, I don't know his name, but one of the I don't know, he's a Saudi prince, and he managed to be the first Saudi guy who actually goes to space. And then SpaceX came up, and then Tesla. Here we are now. I'm not an astronaut, but I did study electrical engineering. I do have a safety passport for workshops. I have an ICE level 2 engineering certificate from ECITB. An IELTS certificate of an overall band score of 7. I got all that from high school. That was pretty good, but in the end, you don't really find what you really want. Like, it's just a piece of paper. This is just a certificate. It doesn't really prove what you are capable of. Like, you don't write in your CV that you have a podcast. You don't do that. You don't write that in your resume. I mean, sure, maybe if it was big, if you had a really big podcast that actually gives you a good income rate, I mean, yeah, sure, you could put that in your CV. But if you already have a good income rate, would you apply for work? No, I don't think so. You'd love being a podcaster. You'd love it, just sitting there and talking. That's what people think about podcasters. That they're just people who sit there in front of the mic and talk. But it's not just about talking. It's about spreading the word. It's about listening. It's about getting the idea over to the audience. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. And it's really weird, like, my first ever podcast was the Good Mythical Morning podcast by Red and Link. Yeah, those guys. Those were a fantastic duo. Like, they were top notch. That podcast was absolutely amazing. It was entertaining, and it got mass views, like major audience. And yeah, it was like my first experience was really weird because listening to music is cool. Like, you could hear somebody singing with the beats and everything and stuff like that. But then when you listen to somebody who's just talking in your ear, like what I'm doing right now to you, or maybe you're connected to a Bluetooth device so you hear me. It's kind of weird. It's weird listening to somebody talking in your ear. It's weird. So it's not ASMR if you're thinking it's ASMR. Oh my god, I remember ASMR. Oh my god. Let's talk about ASMR, yeah. Now, how many months has it been? Maybe 2 months since this ASMR trend that's been all over TikTok and YouTube and little parts of Twitter. I don't really know what ASMR stands for, but الزبدة إن يشغلون لك أصوات غريبة وتسمعها في إذنك في السماعة لين ما تنام. And these sounds include rubbing a sponge onto the mic, um, hair combing and hair brushing, and like all these weird sounds, like knocking on the table and stuff like that. And all of this, the goal of this is to sleep. يعني ربعي جربوا ASMR، ما أقول لك ما جربوا، كل من جرب. I tried, but I didn't really find it soothing. I found it disturbing. Very disturbing. Especially with those mics that have two receptors. Like if the person was talking to the left receptor, you would hear the sound from your left earphone, and vice versa on the right. And he would like make a sound on the left one and make another different sound on the right one, which was weird. I didn't sleep that night. I turned it off, and I didn't want it anymore. But it's soothing to some people, so at least it's helping somebody. ASMR. But like the people of YouTube took it way too far. يعني ناس يحطون فيديوهات مثلا الفلبن والتشاينيز، يصورون روحهم وهم ياكلون اندومي وياكلون هاي الاشياء الغريبة، اخطبوط. والله منهم يعني الكورونا والاوميكرون وهاي السوالف، بس بهاي السبة they eat weird stuff, and they would shoot themselves on camera while they do this with a mic in the food, and you would listen to their weird mouth noises. And the weird thing, people like it. People like listening to this stuff. Like it has become completely normal for these videos to get 12 to 13 or 14 million views. Million views. It's mind-boggling. It's not your normal YouTube content that everybody would love. The video would get 1,600 million views or something like that. Did I just say 1,600 million? No, that doesn't work. 160 million. Yeah, that happens. Some videos have 160 million views. And YouTube has done this really bold move lately where if you wanna dislike a video, if you click the dislike button, you can't see how many people disliked this certain video, but you can see how many people liked the video. Now, when YouTube has done this bold move, kill, and I mean kill on the internet, they went ham. People were saying, how do I know if this certain video is worth my time to watch, or should I put it on my watch later list or something like that? Or I mean, YouTube had its reasons as to why they removed the number of dislikes. One of them that was stated very clearly to everybody that let me give you an example, okay? Like, let's say you uploaded your first Minecraft Let's Play on YouTube, right? And you don't really get much views. But then after 2 weeks or so, you get 100 views with 25 likes and 75 dislikes. 75 dislikes. Wouldn't you feel sad? Kind of depressed as to you seeing that your content isn't really worth people's time. That's why YouTube removed that counter, that the dislike counter. They don't want people to kind of get they don't want people to get discouraged of making content on YouTube. So yeah, another reason is there are people out there who kind of they would gather up like 100 or 300 people together, and they would target one video. They would target a video, and their leader would tell them, yo, everybody, dislike this video. We want to bring this video down. We don't want this video to get viral. We don't want the creator to get some money. We don't want that. So these people will gather up people to dislike certain videos. And that would it doesn't only ruin the creator's efforts and his self-esteem, but it would also ruin the YouTube algorithm. Now, if you don't know what the YouTube algorithm is, basically, let's say if you're into gaming videos, right? So when you like a certain video, like let's say a Forza Horizon game video, if you like that, on your homepage, YouTube would bring and show you other Forza Horizon videos. That's how the algorithm works. If a video is trending, it would show you that too. Yo, this video is trending, you should check it out, and it goes on your recommended videos list. YouTube would be like, yo, you should give this a watch. It's trending and people are loving it, so give it a chance and stuff like that. That's how YouTube works. But because people are making these ahzab on the internet, they didn't have much of a choice but to actually remove the dislike count. But hey, most other social media platforms don't really have a dislike button or something like that, except Reddit, because on Reddit, if you see a certain post, you could either upvote it or downvote it. But on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat, the Spotlight Snapchat, you could add this certain video to your favorites, and on TikTok you could like a video, and on Instagram you could like Instagram posts. You can archive them, put them in collections if you don't want to lose them, or keep them for later, something like that. And yeah, that's social media for you. I mean, I don't know who uses LinkedIn or Quora or what's it called? Yahoo. I don't know who uses Yahoo these days, to be honest. Google is the best search engine out there. Like, yeah, sure, window computers have Bing as their default search engine. But later on, people will change and convert to Google Chrome as their main internet browser. So I don't really get how Yahoo is still alive. I remember back in the day, in around 2016 or 2015. Google had a social media platform called Google Plus. I don't really remember much of it, but Google Plus was kind of like an abomination between Instagram and Twitter. And so instead of liking a video, you plus the video. You press the plus button because it's called Google Plus. It was weird. Nobody used it, and people made accounts in Google Plus mainly to have like or make a YouTube channel, because YouTube is obviously owned by Google. And yeah, Google Plus was a disaster, to be honest. And when they decided to actually remove Google Plus, they told people to kind of change their account, or maybe make a new one if they wanted to. Like convert their Google Plus account to a regular Google account that includes Gmail, YouTube, Docs, Slides, Google Podcasts, and all the other Google Suite apps. So yeah, like some people did convert and were very, very good boys and girls, but some people didn't. Some people just stayed on Google Plus and they continued. And when the integration was over, people who were still having Google Plus accounts, they were suspended and they lost their whole YouTube channel. They don't have control over it. It was pretty hectic. That's YouTube. YouTube changed a lot. Like if you kind of compare the videos from back in the day to the videos now, they're very different. Like if you log on to YouTube right now, without like go on to YouTube without an account, just open up an anonymous tab and go to youtube.com and look at the videos. Like most of the videos that you'll see up in your face are just clickbait videos. You know, the videos with the people who are like posing with their mouth open, or like whoa or wow or something like that. Like it encourages you to click on the video. It's called a clickbait. The amount of clicks that they get makes them richer. Even though probably the video is not what you expected, probably much worse and even cringier and stupid, but that's people these days. They scam you in real life and they scam you on the internet. I wonder how the Metaverse is going. I wonder how the Metaverse development is going with Facebook. I can just imagine how it would be in the future. They say that you wouldn't be able to differentiate between the artificial reality and the actual reality. Whether you're asleep or not asleep. That I'm looking forward to. Like I've done my share of lucid dreaming at night. And trust me, it was hell of an experience. Okay, let me explain what lucid dreaming is. Lucid dreaming is when you enter this state while you're dreaming. It's like you're sleeping, but you're not sleeping. It's much different than sleep paralysis. Sleep. There's another name for sleep paralysis here. They call it جاثوم. جني الجاثوم. والله أنا ياني الجني الجاثوم أمس في الليل ما قدرت أنام. كان قاعد علي وما قدرت أتحرك. That's what people in Bahrain say. جاثوم ياني في الليل والله ما قدرت أتحرك. حسيته قاعد يفغصني. But in reality, Jathum is not a superficial being. He's not jinn or something like that. No. It's just a weird sleep phenomenon called sleep paralysis. It's where you are completely awake. Your mind and eyes are completely awake. But your body is still asleep. You cannot move. You cannot move. There are some rare cases where people were so scared during sleep paralysis that they died of fear. Their heart straight up stopped. Boom. On to the afterlife. Must be a very weird experience. But that's how it is. So lucid dreaming is kind of a free form of sleep paralysis. It's where your mind is completely awake and you can kind of take control of what you're dreaming of. I know we're going to very weird subjects right now, but trust me. I've done this about 6 times, and every time it happens, I get so excited that I wake up. I wake up and like, boom, it goes away. So during your time in lucid dreaming, your mind is awake, but your body is still asleep. And so, while you're dreaming in your sleep, you become aware that you are dreaming. You're dreaming and you are aware of dreaming. I hope that makes sense, but yeah. And so when you are aware of dreaming, you have this ability, but it's kind of a limited ability onto controlling where your dream goes and where it ends up. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube that are totally scams about how to lucid dream. There are methods, yeah, sure, there are scientific methods that have been proven to work, and I did try one and it did work, but I don't really do it too often because I'm scared that I might lose control and bugger off to death. But sometimes it's good sometimes, it's like a breather. If you're not comfortable in reality, you could always visit your dreams, visit dreamland, and do whatever you want. Explore. You want to swim? Go swim. You want to climb a mountain? Climb a mountain. Do whatever you want. That's lucid dreaming. But artificial reality, the metaverse, what Facebook is doing, I don't know. It might change everything, like Mark Zuckerberg is doing something that would change all of us forever. And I'm just waiting for it to release. Keanu Reeves, the infamous what's it called? Who's it called? Yeah, John Wick, the infamous actor in The Matrix, Keanu Reeves. It was once said, he once said during his interview after doing the new Matrix movie in 2020, that he was talking about the metaverse. They asked him about how or what he think about the metaverse, and so he said, "Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. It's nice. I think it has a lot of potential. Yeah." And in the end, he said, "But he wished it was somebody else who was making it." And everybody busted out laughing. الكل كان يضحك. الكل. ليش؟ كانوا يقولون إن ما كانوا متوقعين إن Mark Zuckerberg would be the person who would actually develop the metaverse. I mean, Facebook is just a company that owns the Facebook website along with WhatsApp and Instagram. And then they made Oculus. Oculus is the company that makes the virtual reality headsets. The Oculus Rift and the Oculus Quest. I tried the Oculus Quest. It was very fun to play. I played Beat Saber. An amazing game. Beat Saber is like you go in and you have two swords. One of them is blue and the other is red. And in the background you can hear a song. And as these cubes come at you, you need to cut the cubes based on the arrows on the cubes. Like if a cube is coming at you and the arrow's pointing up, you have to slice it with your sword in like the up direction, like from down to up. Right? And it depends on the color of the cube. Like if it was a red cube, you would cut it with your red sword, but if it was blue, you would cut it with the blue sword. That's how it works. That was the game, and it was pretty fun. And it's like an advanced version of Guitar Hero or Tap Tap Revenge. It was really cool, and it has a lot of potential. And recently they added the multiplayer kind of you were able to play with other people online, and you could like see them wave at you and stuff like that, interacting in virtual reality. Something really nice. Well, I think I'm gonna end it there, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed an unedited episode of TBV. Don't really have the energy to edit this thing. But yeah, this was your host, A.H. Alawi. This was the Bahraini Voice. Catch you later, alligator. See ya.